All right, so I'll just touch on this very quick before we get to yesterday's price action. Now, I'm expecting further bearish moves today because we've grabbed liquidity from the 4 hours time frame. Okay, the 4-hour high, that was our previous target liquidity. But however, okay, we are still within a range where I think the Asian high is protected. Okay, because okay, let's go to the M15 time frame. Okay, so the Asian high clearly tapped nicely into our M15 area, right? If this was supposed to be the block, this could be the M15 block. After we had grabbed liquidity on the left from the 4-hour high, right? And then we have shifted structure by grabbing the Asian low. So it's quite possible that we could come back to see reactions from Asian mid before further push to the downside or anywhere above Asian mid. It depends on where we get reaction, okay? So this is a expectation out of flow one with respect to the grab on liquidity from the 4-hour high. But then on the 1 minute time frame, we still have a bullish story forming. Okay, we still have a bullish story forming that could be an expectational order flow two to continue the bullish move. Okay, because internally, right, this is a grab on liquidity. Okay, this is a shift in momentum, right? And the move above this high is a break of structure. So I don't have too many markets. We can even consider this to the upside as a break of structure. Okay, and then price has come to clear this low and now tapped into this block. Okay, so it's possible we could see further upward movements. Just depends on the reaction. But with respect to time and price, I'm expecting price to further get back to this region before or around 8 o'clock to clear all of this liquidity and then continue the bearish movement with respect to the structure from the 4-hour time frame. Okay, but then if that does not hold, we could see further play around that could give us intent to go bullish. Okay, but so let's look at the price action from yesterday. Okay, so if you see clear intents to short from many of these areas or above these areas, we will short. But until then we are maintaining the price action from. Until then, we are maintaining the price action from this region until we see reasons to go long. Okay, so let's see what happened yesterday. Now, I was expecting similar move yesterday from these areas, right? Because we had some sort of pricing in the Asian mint. I expected price to come to, but then we escaped the area and then we are creating new price actions we could work with. Okay, so this was a grab on liquidity above this high, right? This was a shift in momentum, right? And this high was now the break of structure. Okay, so while we were looking for that move to go back to the upside, price was already creating a new story within this range, giving us a new range structure. Okay, so we had this here shift of momentum and this here break of structure. Okay, so the clear of this low, let me take out this stuff. So when we cleared this low, it was our shift in momentum, like I always explain, and then this high came back to remitigate this and then continued bearish towards finally take us away from this structure. Okay, and then you always know that the liquidity point is resting above the high that shifted structure, not the high that shifted momentum. Okay, so when I say liquidity model 2, we're talking about the liquidity entry model 2. This is what I'm talking about. Some of you said you have not watched the video on the entry model 2. Some of you said you have not taught entry model, and I'm surprised. I taught 2 models of entry. The first model is based off your internal inducement, okay, which is the last week, right? The last week before the inefficiency, before the block, okay? I have explained that. And then I've also explained that we could see price, grab liquidity, right? Shift momentum and proceed to break structure, okay? So we are not concerned about this high that broke structure. That's where we are looking forward to sell from. The same thing happened here. I've explained that over and on. Okay, so price came here to grab liquidity from the high that shifted structure. And then we had the sell progression continue. Okay, so I realized the story late, but then I could come in at this point for a buy to sell. Okay, for a buy to sell model based on the confirmation entry from this high that grabbed liquidity. Okay, now why did we now have the aggressiveness from that buy? Because everything we do is based off liquidity. So when some of you complain and say the whole concepts are changing and blah, 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 blah. From the day you knew me till today, I'll always tell you liquidity is fuel. The fuel is not changing to anything new. So when some of you are saying you're confused of the concepts and all of that, it is surprising to me. Very surprising to me. Okay, because liquidity has always been fuel. Nothing changes. I did not buy fuel from somewhere else. Okay, now this is what we are concerned about. Price has been moving in an upward movement. Yeah, we expected deeper retracements. That did not happen, which is fine. Why did it not happen? Because price came back to respect flip zones. And then I know I explained that in one of the videos, but then I expected this to be induced. Okay, this was the flip zone because it was the last point. If you attended the last Sunday's call, I told you this is the only valid high here. Right, this is the valid high and it had failed to hold. Okay, last point of demand that cleared this supply. So price came to it pre-Asia yesterday and then tapped into this level of demand and then started its bullish momentum. So there was no need for us to see lower pricing. Okay, now another mistake we made yesterday is that we considered all of this as build-ups. We considered all of this as build-ups and expected all of this to be cleared, which was wrong. Okay, all of this were not build-up. Okay, price had grabbed liquidity internally from this area. Okay, this was a grab of internal liquidity. Let's go to the 3 minutes time frame. Let's see that in a 3 minutes time frame. Nice. Okay, because this was a mitigation, clear mitigation. So it means that if price was supposed to buy, it should have bought off this demand level, right? As soon as this level of demand failed, it automatically came to grab the stop losses of the people who had pending orders below this area, right? As a grab on liquidity. So inducement is also based off the concept of liquidity. It grabbed liquidity from these lows and then shifted momentum, right? And then broke structure, right? So which was the low? What was the low that sponsored the break of structure? Let's trace it. This was the last low that broke structure after this shifting momentum downwards, then break of structure. So let's trace it to where we had our reaction from for the buy. Okay, so you see that price had clearly come to grab liquidity from this area that sponsored the break, just like we had further explained in the explained prior to this time in the liquidity entry model too. The same thing happened here. Grab liquidity from the area that sponsored the break of structure, came here to fulfill the same move. Okay, but because we are married to the bias that all of this was supposed to be a build-up and we expected all of this to be cleared, we did not see this move actually happen. Okay, so that's why a lot of us did not participate with this move or on this move. Okay, and then we had some sort of reconfirmation, which was this area. Okay, this was the last area of low. All of these candles were single candles. We had this new base and then that took out this high. It means we had liquidity resting just below the base. Okay, because some people would have also seen this as a flip zone. Why would they see this as a flip zone? This high grabbed liquidity and shifted structure, right? And then price was supposed to come back to this area to give us some kind of a continuation for sales, but it failed. Okay, if these areas fail to give us sell continuations, it means that this low was the last base that sponsored the movement to the upside. Okay, so what did they come to do? They came to grab liquidity from this low, just like they did prior to this time. Where was that? I just explained now. Okay, from behind. Right, grab liquidity the same way they grab liquidity from what we expected to be some sort of flip zone. And then they moved to the upside. Okay, it was as simple as that. So we had extra confirmations to be in this setup. Obviously, I was not on chat yesterday. That's why I did not come in on this re-entry, because I will be very busy this week. I'm actually very busy this week. Okay, so what am I looking forward to seeing today? I'm only looking forward to seeing price head back into this area, give us mitigations from Asian mid, and give us reasons to short. If we get reasons to short, then I could expect to see price come back to this area. Why? Because this is the next strong low. We have grabbed liquidity from this area. We have shifted structure from this high. Okay, so it means that if we could have any sort of internal liquidity, it should be somewhere within this range. It should be somewhere within this range. Okay, so I'll be concerned about the price action that happens within this range as a strong low. Okay, because this has shown us the setups for a strong high. I'll be looking forward to seeing confirmative entries from this area. If I must treat this area as a strong low, then we can now see further higher pricing, because the target is still the 4-hour area. Okay, the 4-hour demand, the 4-hour supply that was untapped. We have grabbed liquidity from the high we expected to grab liquidity from the 4-hour, right, which is this high. So we have grabbed external liquidity. Price will now come back to seek internal liquidity before now going for the remitigation of this external. Okay, and then we have CPI coming up today, right? At what time? Let me see. We have CPI today, Wednesday. Nah, we don't have CPI today. CPI is tomorrow. Okay, today is free. Today is free. Okay, so we just have to wait for price to do its thing and then give us confirmation where we can come in. Any questions? Complications, questions, any of that? No question. Okay, one more thing before we go, okay? I'd like to explain something very briefly for the benefit of a few of us who are having challenges. Refuse to, I was talking with one of us yesterday and I made the same statement. Refuse to get married to a particular notion, okay? Everything you see on the chart has always been based off liquidity. Everything you see on charts has always been based off liquidity. What is liquidity? Liquidity simply means money. I'll say it over and on. Why do we have price come into this range? Is to grab some sort of internal liquidity from fair value gap or whatever. Why do we price have go back up? Is to take out external liquidity from the highs. Why should price come back into the range? To seek new internal liquidity. Why would they go back upward? To grab external liquidity from these highs. Why would they come back? To seek new internal liquidity of some sort. It has always been, it is the only thing that happens on the chart. So when you begin to confuse yourself with a lot, it is surprising for me. Because I've explained this over and on and over and on. Only two things happen on the chart: delivery of internal to external, or delivery of external to internal. Apart from that, let me get a clearer chart where I don't have markings. And then I've given you guys clear principles that would help you understand the function of liquidity. Number one, where is price currently? Number two, what is the price action? What is price doing at the current market price, or wherever it is currently? What is it doing there? What is the price action forming there? What is it creating there? If it is in an area of supply, what is it doing at that supply region? Is it giving me my required setup to sell? If it's in an area of demand, what is it doing at that demand level? Is it giving me required setup to buy? If it's in an imbalance or in between nowhere, fine, I will wait for it to come to an area that I expect it to gather momentum from before it moves. Number three, why should it move to a certain location? Number one, where is price currently? Number two, what is price doing at that location? Number three, where is price going to next, rather? So if price is in an area of demand, Where do I think it's going to next? Number 4, why do I think it should go there? And all of these questions circle around liquidity. I have said it over and on. It is not your order blocks that moves price. I've taught that severally. I've been teaching that for the past 3 to 4 months. It is not your order block that moves price. Liquidity is what moves price. Okay, so if there's no liquidity, price will grab liquidity from the highs of your order block where you have your stop loss and take it as liquidity before it begins to move. Okay, you must understand that and let it sink. You must understand that and let it sink. Okay, this is a very valid base. Why did price come above this area? Because it needed enough liquidity. It has your stop losses resting here. Your money is resting here. And then we have people who are expecting to take breakout requests, breakout retest and continuation here. Okay, so once they see these breakouts, they're now looking to now buy from this area as resistance, broken term support. Okay, so we have all that liquidity resting here. Grab it and move. It's as simple as that. And then once we grab internal liquidity, what are we coming for? External liquidity. Okay, the lows. So for a downtrend, all the lows are external liquidities. All the lows are external liquidities for downtrends. For uptrends, all the highs are external liquidities, all the highs. So we have cleared all of these highs. So currently, we have cleared all of these highs sitting in this range down to the extreme as what? External liquidities. Now, while we are clearing these highs as externals, we must give small retracement into the range, into the range, into the range, into the range, into the range as what? Internal liquidity. It's nothing too extreme. I don't know why you guys are confusing yourself. I'm trying to get why you're confusing yourself. Look, internal, external, internal, external, internal. That's everything price does. And price is fractal. So if it's doing this on the higher time frame, it will still do them on the lower time frame. So your challenge should now be, how do I locate the right internal liquidity that price wants to grab? It is simple. Start by marking all the areas you consider to be internal liquidities and not entering any of them until you see a confirmation. What is the first confirmation we are looking out for? The trade model 2, okay, liquidity model 2. When price gets to that area, we want to see that it grabs the liquidity, shifts momentum, and then breaks structure. Then we come back to take the low that broke structure. Stop loss where? Below the origin. Stop loss below the origin. Okay, and then we look forward to seeing further move. So the upside is as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There is no other thing anywhere on this chart that I do that I've not explained to you guys. Okay, so it breaks my heart that some of you are still finding it quite difficult because of the concept you have built around in your head. It has always been, in fact, this concept are even somewhat of a confirmation entry that helps you streamline your trade. So you're not just jumping into any sort of trade. It's simple. The same, let me get on my chart again. Let me get on the other chart. Okay, so I will go through all the trades I've taken within the last how many days. My subscription here is expired, so I just hope they allow me to do all of that. I explained this one already for you. Grab liquidity, shifted momentum, break structure. Liquidity is now resting above the high that broke structure. I'm interested in selling from that high. Okay, I did not get an early entry. I have a new break of structure. So it means price will go back for a remitigation of the block or a grab of liquidity. Now, why did I use the block in this scenario? I did not see enter on the block until I had a confirmation. When price tapped into the level and then gave me signs that it was about to escape the level, I came in on this re-entry and sold off. Okay, now this is your classic blah, blah, blah entries. Grab liquidity and then forged to the upside, came back to remitigate because this was a minor buy to sell model. I could hop in on this aggressively. Okay, we could go on and on. Let me check. Let me get some more examples for you guys. We had this here as a what? As a grab on liquidity. This was a shift in momentum, right? Let me label it out. So after we grabbed, price shifted momentum, came back up and what? Broke structure. Okay, so these lows, we are still intact until this second move. It means that Price will come back up to clear this high, the high that broke the structure. This high that broke the structure becomes the internal inducement. The AIT you hear me talk about, or internal inducement, is now this guy. Because a lot of folks will now be hoping to sell from here and put their stop loss above this high, expecting this high to be protected. Okay? Which in the real sense, that high is where we have our liquidity. So once that high is taken, and we now have a new shift in structure, I can now relate with the body of this candle as my entry point. It's as simple as that. So why do you guys keep confusing yourself with things that do not exist on the chart and trying to make things that are not difficult seem difficult? Peter, is he here? Okay, or Gaga Peter is not here. I saw your comment this morning talking about you having issues with entries. And I'm like, what exactly do you have issues with when you are supposed to wait to see simple at your area of entry, maybe your area of demand or your area of supply, or wherever you think is a nice grab on liquidity? The only thing you are doing is to wait to see a nice grab, right? Then shift momentum, come back, break structure. Then you are willing to now enter your trade after price liquidates this high. Stop loss above this area. So what is the entry you're having difficulties with that you're explaining every time in the group? When you have just simple rules, wait for a grab, wait for a shift, wait for a break of structure, enter on the high of the structural point that was broken. Stick to this entry model until you have mastered it. Price will not present it exactly the same way because price is dynamic. But the story must still align. The stories are always the same. Now, this thing I just explained is what happened inside here. Grab, shift, break structure, came back to liquidate and drop. But it may not be as clear. The same thing happened inside here. Grab liquidity, shift momentum, came back to mitigate this high, came below to clear the lows that shifted the momentum and then tried to break structure before moving. The same price action. It must not happen exactly and make it clean like what you see in your textbooks. That's what makes you a trader. Okay, so you guys you've not been keen on details. And I think I will obviously say you've not been studying. Okay, because there's no better explanation. It is impossible. Study is not trying to do what you used to do every day. Okay, whenever I lose a trade, I get back to the chart and try to figure out why I lost a trade. The why is the study. Okay, and then you're trying to study, and then you're seeing that you're making losses on your study, and then you're frustrated. You begin to say, this one is not working. That one is not this one is not that. Building wrong psychological information in your head. And trading is not a figure game. It is a psychological game. Once your mind is messed up, all your trades will be messed up. Because it's not about pressing buy or sell. Anybody can press buy or sell. Okay? And a lot of you are beginning to tamper with your confidence very badly. And if you let it affect you to that point, there is nothing any mentor can do about it. Because I can only show you what I do. And if you check it on your chart over and on, you will see that it happens. And then you see me do it constantly and post results for you. Don't you get tired of seeing my results? Okay? So it means that I am giving it enough time that you are not willing to give it yet because you think in your head that something is not working or something is not going right. And then once you begin to think that a thing does not play out, you will never see it play out. It is as psychological as it sounds. That's why I'm happy for Curtis and the rest of them. Earlier, he will always tell me he's having issues with this, he's not seeing this, he's not seeing that, and this, that, and that. And then now I see his charts and I'm asking him, what changed? Nothing changed. The same thing he has been doing is the same thing he's doing. But then allow it to build, allow it to rest, allow it to reside inside of you and become a part of you. Don't try it today and try it tomorrow and you're frustrated. Is that how you want to become a trader? Who trades like that? That's the issue lots of you are having. You try it today, you try it tomorrow, you're frustrated. You're looking for instant gratification and it doesn't work that way. Okay, I have people who are not traders at all. A lot of them do not comment on the group, do not say anything on the group, who are not traders at all. I have not even had a session with them. They get on the group, watch those videos, and when I see some of their trades, I am blown away because I did not even see those entry playouts, some of the entries they show me. So it means if they are getting that result from those sessions you are watching, it means the problem is with you. So how do you now rectify this problem? Unlearn every other negative thing that you have carried in your head. Do not approach the chart with a mindset of wanting to prove yourself right, that after all, this one did not happen here, this one failed, this one. You are not judging your trade. You're not judging your trading ability over a particular trade. You are judging your ability over a set of trades. So you cannot lose one trade and come back on the chart and feel bad and want to kill yourself. Are you a trader? Some of you have very, 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 very soft minds. And trading is not for people without balls. If you don't have balls, you can't be a trader. You go to your backyard, buy trampoline, start fish farming, or start selling fowl. The season is coming. Sell chicken. You must not trade forex. Okay? So trading is not for people without balls. You cannot make 2 losses and then your whole confidence level, your whole psychological level is fucked. You can't be a trader like that. Everybody has losing streaks. I have times where I have losing streaks for 3-4 days. It doesn't make me less of a trader. I'm still Dr. Banks. Okay, so unlearn every habit you think or everything you think is building. You know what your problem is. Every trader knows exactly what his problem is. It is either you are too married to the concept of order blocks, or you are too married to the concept of supply and demand, or you are too married, or you're now trying to squeeze what I have taught you into your own concept. It doesn't work that way. So when you approach my materials, approach it with an open mind to learn what I do. Don't approach it with trying to see how you can marry it with what you do already. It won't work. Okay, so get back on the videos and watch them continually until now. It should be even exciting for you that you have someone who is now teaching you these things and say, do it this way, do it. The things I teach you guys are things I discovered on my own. 16 hours every day for more than 3 months. Sitting on the charts. Okay, and then I've simplified it in a way that you can just come in and do 2 hours in London, 2 hours in New York, and you're off the charts with specific timing. Okay, so you don't have any reason why you should have problems. You don't have any reason, any excuse whatsoever why you should fail. I'm not supposed to be sounding like this with some of you guys because I sound like this only with my private mentees. And then some of you here are just on the group mentorship. But I should. Put in the required work. You will get the desired results. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
I need to carry on with my day. So please, please, and please, and please, I beg you in God's name, okay, get on the chat and study. Pletion, I don't know what you're doing. You've been off the radar for a while. I'm not seeing your markups. I'm not seeing your...
Yeah, I'm at my grandma's burial, so it's been a busy week.
Okay, it's all right. When you get back, I hope you're getting back on the chat.
Yes, sir.
Pavel, can you hear me? Pavel, can you hear me? Okay, it's all right. So please, okay, if you have questions, ask questions. That is how we learn. Some of you are too scared or too shy to post your chats so that somebody does not correct you or somebody does not laugh at you. So you're more concerned about who laughs at you than what gives you money. Do you listen to yourself? You're more concerned about your ego and pride of who laughs at you than what you would learn to give you money and help you for the rest of your life. You're concerned about they will laugh at me. They will mock at my chat. You're not ready to make money. You're not ready to make money. When you're hungry, you will post it, let them laugh. While they are laughing, somebody will jokingly explain what you want to you and you will learn. Until then, keep hiding behind the shadows or behind the works and expecting that magically you just begin to get it. At the end of the day, you discover that you have wasted several months of your life trying to hide behind shadows of people who are actually doing it. Because I have only a few people who post chats daily on the group. And I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you very much for doing the best for yourself. Because you're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for me. You will never do it for me in the first place. You're doing it for yourself. Okay? The fees attached to my mentorship is a one-time fee. Okay, and that water fee covers the payment for the rest of your life. So I will never message you to say send me any money. If you close out a profit of $1 million, I'll never message you to say send me $1,000. I don't need it. Okay, so you're doing it for yourself. Now, if you're doing it for yourself, you should do it well. If you don't do it well, at the end of the day, like a few of them who were with me, at the end of the day, you will get messed up in your psychology. You will run to a different mentor. When you run to that different mentor, you stay there 3, 4, 5 months. You look for instant gratification, you don't get it. You run to another mentor. You keep running from one mentor to the other. At the end of the day, you come to Instagram to write Forex is a scam. I will now comment, truly, I would like the post and comment, yes, is a scam. They've scammed me before. Because that's where the bulk of them end. They end up with the rest of them commenting Forex is a scam on Instagram. So refuse to spend all this amount of time being with me. And then you're coming back to now say Forex is a scam. Okay? This thing that you call scam, people are making money off it and they're making a living off it. So if you put in the desired work, the required work, you will get the desired result. If you feel you're working hard and you are not seeing the result, you are not working hard enough. Let it make you as angry as it can make you so you go back to work. If you feel you are working hard, I had a time when I felt I was working so hard and I was not seeing any result. I was not working hard enough. Take it or leave it. I know I was not working hard enough. If you are doing 10 hours at the moment and you're not getting the result, it means for your personality, you're not working hard enough. Do it a lot more. Make it 20 hours. Make it 15. Challenge yourself to do better. Okay? And the only reason why I post my charts on the group is so that you go back to study it. Study my charts. Study my charts. Study why I took an entry. If you don't see a reason, ask on the group, I will answer you. Some other person who saw it will also answer you. Liquidity simply means money. Money is resting below old highs or old lows or inside fair value gaps. It's as simple as that. Why did we come here? To grab money resting below this low. We have grabbed the money and now we are making some move to the upside. Now, if this is equal highs, it means we have money also resting here logically. So we should tap into this money before we begin to fall. Must we do that? No. We must not, nothing must happen on the chart. If we don't do that, then it's one of those times where my logic does not play out. And it is as amazing as it should be. Your setup. Okay, I need to let you guys understand something, right? When it comes to trading technical analysis, this is where we get it all wrong. Because we think that we are expecting something from our technical method that our technical method cannot do. We're expecting that our technical analysis will give us the answers to every trade. Every trade will come and hit take profits, bam. Every trade, because it has grabbed liquidity, it will automatically move in your direction. That is not what it is for. So the patterns may be consistent, but the outcome.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think
Yes, sir.
my network went off. For every time you flip a coin, right? What is the probability that you get a head or a tail? You guys didn't do probability in school. It's one of the issues you are having. Okay, now, if I say that I will get a head 70% of the time I flip a coin, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?